Hey, this is Elizabeth Potts Weinstein, and today on Legal Your Truth, we're going to be talking about whether uploading your photos to Instagram means that anyone can sell them for $100,000. So, what this is about, you may have read articles and seen it, it's all over Facebook and what have you, about there was this photographer, artist, person who took other people's Instagram photos, commented on them, made prints, and then sold them for $90,000 or $100,000. Okay, my eye roll is, why would anyone pay that much money for it? But putting that whole issue aside, how is this legal? Why is this legal? So here's what it comes down to: it is about copyright, it is about derivative works, it is about what his contribution is to the work, it is about fair use. The general idea of copyright law, what it's supposed to be like, is that if you take a photo, if you create art, you own the copyright over that art or photo or whatever it is. If someone creates a derivative work using your work, they are adding their own artisticness to it, okay? But the idea is that it depends on what they do, whether or not they have to be accountable to you for your copyright. And this is an area of the law that isn't like a statute that's really clear, laid out. This is something that's developed in the courts. And the facts it's very factual dependent, and each court is sometimes coming up with different ways to answer this question. How I think the law should be is that if someone's creating a derivative work, that they should be accountable to the original artist. That this derivative work is, in a way, a collaboration. That may be a collaboration against your will, but it's a collaboration, and as such, they should be accountable to pay money to the other artist, the original artist, or pay them a license or whatever it is. And there's cases out there where that happened. But this particular artist had a case where he used a photo and did stuff to this photo, modified it, and then an appellate court said, well, actually, maybe you don't have to pay that money, maybe you don't have to get permission, and kicked it back to the lower court to do various findings of fact and what have you. And then the case settled. And this is the problem. We don't know what the answer is because that case didn't finish. It went up on appeal, it got sent back to the lower court, and then it settled. So we don't actually know what the court would have eventually said. So now this artist is going ahead and challenging this law again because this is his shtick, right? So he is doing something, in my opinion, ridiculous because he wants to test the law. So he just takes an Instagram photo, comments on it, acts as if that's adding artisticness to it, sells it for $100,000, and now presumably he wants someone to sue him, okay? Because he wants this to be a case that's going to go up on appeal and decide what the law should be on this area. I think I hope someone does sue him, even though in a way it kind of frustrates me that he's, making us fight this issue, because I think this is an area of law that needs to be settled. However, what does that mean for you? Generally speaking, you uploading a photo to Instagram does not mean anyone can sell it for $100,000. The Instagram terms of service, which I just had on my phone, but now, okay. In Instagram terms of service, doesn't say that, okay? It says that Instagram has a non-exclusive license to use your photo, which they have to, because they have to be able to display it and everything like that. Maybe their license is too broad. That's a question for a different day, but you're only giving them a license, not the other people who use Instagram, except for the purpose of Instagram stuff, right? Someone making a copy of your photo that you post online and selling it is copyright infringement. They may argue that they have a defense against that. They may argue that there's an exception, but they have to make that argument and win it in court. If someone takes your photo that you put on Instagram and posts it on their website, you can do a DMCA takedown and probably get that taken down. It can be incredibly, horribly onerous if it happens all over the place, but you can. Hopefully this area law is going to get settled In the relative short term, it will take years, though, to go up on appeal, even if a case got filed this afternoon. Hopefully one is. But in the meanwhile, this guy selling this photo for $100,000 doesn't change the law for you today. It just means he's testing the law, and this happens all the time in a lot of different areas of law. So my lesson for you, or my thought for you today is, don't freak out. Just because this is happening doesn't mean it's happening to you. This is the area of law that's under flux. If you're a photographer who makes your money off of photos, this is something that you definitely need to pay attention to. If you're anyone who cares about your photography or the privacy of your photos, this is something you need to pay attention to. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen to you today. Again, this is Elizabeth Potts Weinstein. If you would like any more tips about copyright law, trademark law, law for small business owners, you can go to elizabethpw.com, or you can find me on Twitter or Facebook as ElizabethPW. Thanks a lot.